Hello, and welcome to the Boats Network, which is the Business Owners Advice, Tips, and Support Network. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Tina Alton, the President of Nations of Women, and this is our initiative to bring to you as a business owner all the best advice, the best tips, and best business brains from all over the world to help you navigate this season that we're in, which we're specifically thinking about the effects of the coronavirus. Nations are feeling it. Individuals are feeling it, even children are feeling it, and therefore we know that as a business owner, you have a very critical role to play in your community and in your nation. This afternoon, I am excited. I've got with me the one and only Mulemwa from all the way from Zambia. I mean, when it comes to business brains and business experts, really thinking about like events, corporate events, and women's empowerment, women in business. Mulemwa is one of the top experts that I go to in Africa. So I'm going to ask Mulemwa to introduce herself and share with you a little bit about who she is and why I'm telling you that she's an expert. So over to you, Mulemwa.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Tina. I feel like a rock star.
Yes,
Um,
because you are.
okay, so my name is Mulemwa. I and work in Lusaka, Zambia. I am a professional meetings planner and I work as an independent contractor. Thank you for that introduction. I don't know how to follow that through, but yes. And I am the Secretary General of the WBAF Women and a certified business mentor right now. So good times.
Absolutely. Now, Mulemwa, not just in Zambia, but really across Africa and globally, when businesses want to gather people, events, whether it's launching a new product, launching a new service, or really, as an extension of their business, it's you they come to. Now we know that almost all governments are talking about like social isolation, social distancing. So would you be able to give us a little bit more overview? Because I know more of what's happening in the UK, and I'm assuming that other business owners as well will be the same, where they know what's happening in their own country. But would you be able to give us a better overview in terms of globally how much this epidemic is wrecking businesses from a corporate events perspective?
So I think the tourism industry, the jury's out on this one, but the tourism industry must be the hardest hit because it's immediate. We haven't had to wait. It's been flight cancellations, it's been meetings cancellations, it's been the biggest expos. It has had no respect for the magnitude of expos. I'll give you an example. The IBTM, which is one of the biggest events, that thing takes about 3 months just to put up the show. And it
Wow.
was canceled with less than 7 days to go. So that gives you an idea of how crippled we have become as an industry. And so right now in my country, the tree season where things are a bit slow, it's the rainy season here. But in terms of the business meetings, the conferences, the exhibitions, this is actually when it picks, because this is the beginning of the year when people are coming up with their strategies, people are actually implementing the programs from last year, end of last year. So it's quite a difficult time to actually fathom what is going to happen, what is the impact going to be in the next 3 months, because this quarter, the next quarter cannot recover from the damage that we're facing now. Just imagine from a perspective of a hotel owner. They have a payroll that will need to run
Yes.
this month, their revenue for the month.
Yes.
They will probably have to pay again next month because obviously they just can't lay off people overnight. So the process of even just transitioning, trying to cushion from the effects is still going to cost people money that they are not making already. So it's quite difficult. And then bringing it down to my personal level, I am a business owner, I'm a mother, I have bills to pay and the money is not coming in. So this is a time where one, our savings plan, our insurance policies have to now kick in. As an entrepreneur, moving forward, maybe some of us had never, imagined a time where you are incapacitated because we think, yeah, I'm young, my business, is an all year round business. I don't really need to plan for sad times. But look at where we are now. So, I mean, we're personally, I'll have to survive on what I have, the little that I have. I need to now sit down and plan my finances for the next 3 months. And that is my advice to everybody that is watching this. And think about where the next, paycheck will come from. Look at what you have now and see how you can prudently stretch. It means we're going to have to forego the wants. We're going to have to look at what is it that I actually need for this period. What is it that will actually, that is actually something that I can live without? What are we going to put away on this budget? So we're going to have to go back to the basics, go back and learn what budgeting is really, because for some of us, we've forgotten the basics of developing the budget. This is where we go back as small business owners. Let's go back to the drawing board from home level to the business. Do we need to close down? Do we need to scale down? We need to do that now before it gets bad, because it's going to get worse before it gets better. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. I think you've really hit on a very, very important point here. And that is, as business owners, when we start businesses, we do take out insurance policies, but sometimes we don't even remember what those policies cover. So I love what you talked about that, one of the way to, get through is actually utilize your insurance. So that's really, really good advice. If you're watching this or listening to this and you're a business owner, you have insurance, now is the time to pull out your policy and look through your policy to find out what you're covered. If you have business interruption cover, then you need to be speaking to your providers, also your savings. But really, what is really exciting for me, I think almost everybody I've been speaking to is talking about like managing your finances. Would you be able to say that as women entrepreneurs, this is even more crucial for us in comparison to our male counterparts? Or what's your take on that?
I think from a business perspective, I think both sides need to wake up to COVID. But I think from a woman's perspective, here's what I'm going to tell you. Tourism is probably one of the most female-dominated industries that's there. So most of us are actually women that are being impacted by this thing. But in all fairness, once again, you find the table that will sit around to discuss the impact, the decision makers in the way forward, it will be male dominated, and they will not, not that they will not, but it will not be a priority conversation around the women issue. Because right now, I have to stay home. The person that looks after, that helps me look after the child, the daycare is closed because the child can't go to school. So I need to now work around a plan B of my time now, because I have to now look after an infant. And Lord knows I love that child, but I cannot do this the whole day.
Same here.
Yeah, but then you see, it's quite a balancing act that if you're gonna look at it from a dad and a mom situation, when you're both home, the kids will always come to you. It'll be mommy this, mommy that.
Yes.
So even now that we are in downtime, the conversation or the impact assessment will be viewed from a male perspective without taking into account things that may seem as minute as daycare, because that is a big one. How are women going to go back to work? Or we can't earn the money, but then we still have to figure out childcare. Even when we go back into try to transition back into normal life, these are the issues that are going to be very serious to us, because whatever decisions I have to make, I'm a mother first before I'm a business owner. I know that we may not get a bailout in this situation, but in the conversations where bailouts come up, they will not look at something as in, okay, we need to provide grants to women first, because women-led businesses should actually get grants first if there's ever a bailout in any country.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the truth, because we will need a bit more time to figure things out. Mentally,
Yes.
we are, it's exhausting that we are all faced with. It's quite distressing, really.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And final question: has the
Yes.
government of Zambia set up any economic package for businesses in Zambia that you're aware of?
In terms of actually sitting down and I think conducting what the social impact is going to be, the conversation is just starting. So we were going to watch this space.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You could also look at it from the perspective of the industries themselves actually uniting. People are looking to government to find a solution. That may take time. So maybe what would be a good option is to actually get back to basics at industry level. How can we raise finances? How can we be able to help those within our industry?
I want to give you a brownie point as well. I love your t-shirt, which is Nations of Women.
Yes.
Our first, Hall of Fame in Zambia, Lusaka, Zambia. So thank you so much for your continued support. I really love what you've shared. If you're a business owner and you were using events as a part of growing your business, or maybe really is the heart and heartbeat of your business, then as part of survival, you really want to budget and look at what it is you need to keep, what it is you need to cut out. Look at your savings plan, look at your insurance policies, and then really plan, but perhaps look most critically at the next 3 months. And also, I think this is the time that as women, like Mulemwa, you've shared about, this is happening to all of us. But when it comes to the conversation in terms of the decision making and the planning at, the leadership level, it is quite right. It's going to be dominated heavily by men. So this is the time for us as women to really step up into our leadership and say, you know what, okay, even if I have to take my child in, I'm going to show up with my child and be part of the decision-making process. So that, as each government is planning for something like this, happening ever again, the women have been taken into consideration. Even things such as childcare is quite important, because it means that, like, you are home and not, expected to work, but around your children. And I feel you, because my kids' school are closed. So my kids are home, and I'm like praying that God give me the patience for my kids. So, I love them, but 24/7 is way too much. So I hear you, I understand you, and thank you so much again for your time. If there is one advice, your top advice, that you can give to any business owner here, what would that advice be?
Okay, so the best advice I can give for now is faith in God gives meaning to human life. Mm-hmm. So this is quite an uncertain time, and I think holding on to our faith should be number one. I mean, above all else, that is, I think, something that I truly, truly believe. And so I will just add on to say, in the midst of a crisis, always ask yourself, what problems am I a solution to? So if you're a business person with grit, this is where we will tell the girls from the women. So here is the opportunity that COVID brings to us. What problems has it brought that are going to bring you money? How can you turn this thing around? How can you, go to the bank at the end of this thing and say, oh my God, I made it, So just ask yourself, take time and just do an analysis. What problems in my community? What problems in my country? Therein lies your next business venture. Because obviously it's not just in my sector, which is tourism, but in all the other markets, people are affected. So what problems are you a solution to? and therein lies your next paycheck.
Perfect. I love that. I love that. So look for the silver lining, and there's always a rainbow at the end of the rain. So thank you again for your time. Thank you for being an amazing, woman in our community, and being willing to provide your expertise to other businesses around the world. Thank you. This would be going live. If you have watched this segment and you have a question, or you are in this industry and you need help, we can connect you to Mulemwa to help you. She's a certified global business mentor, so we can connect you, and I'm absolutely positive that she will be able to support you. Just send us an email now at nationsofwomen.com, and we will happily make that introduction for you to be connected to Mulemwa, who will then be able to handhold you and support you through these unprecedented times. So thank you again for your time. Consider yourself hugged, social virtual hug, and we will see you on the other side.
Thank you. Keep well.
Thank you.